This is the year the Boston Celtics have to win the championship.
I see Anthony Edwards. I see in the making MJ.
95% of this game, gentlemen, the New York Knicks control this game.
But I really can't wait to see how this group and how they do in this first playoff run.
Get ready for a playoff showdown hotter than a jalapeno eating contest. With stars hobbled, underdogs rising, and unsung heroes waiting in the wings, the NBA playoffs are about to hit a fever pitch. From the Golden State Warriors missing their lead singer to the San Antonio Spurs banking on a towering Titan and the Minnesota Timberwolves facing off against the Phoenix Suns. It's game on. So grab your lucky jersey and buckle up, baby, because this postseason is about to be one wild ride. The team that will be most missed from this postseason? The Golden State Warriors. It's like trying to watch a concert without the lead singer. Steph Curry's three-point game is usually as reliable as GPS, but even he can't win games by himself forever. Maybe this offseason they'll recruit some teammates who can actually shoot without closing their eyes and praying. And what's the deal with the Grizzlies and injuries? It's like they were cursed by a basketball-wielding witch. They had us all geared up for the Marcus Smart show, but instead, it felt more like a comedy of errors. 13 players out? Are they fielding a team or hosting a triage center? Poor Ja Morant must feel like he's starring in The Walking Dead NBA edition. Let's hope that they can hit the reset button for next season and invest in some bubble wrap for these players. And as for the Warriors' Big Three era potentially ending, Clay in a Jazz jersey? Draymond causing mayhem in Detroit? That's like seeing your favorite superheroes retire and take up knitting. Farewell, Splash Brothers era. We'll miss the swishes, the dunks, and the post-game press conference banner. Here's hoping they find some fresh talent to fill those giant shoes. Until then, we'll console ourselves with highlights and memes. The San Antonio Spurs, but it's not really about their team, it's about Victor Wembanyama, stealing the spotlight per usual. This guy is so tall, he probably needs a stepladder to dunk. Standing at a towering 7 feet 4 inches, he's like a skyscraper on the court. And get this, he's on the short list for Defensive Player of the Year and All-NBA Third Team. That's like being the MVP of blocking shots and swatting away opponents like pesky flies. But here's the kicker. Despite Wembanyama's superhero stats, the Spurs only managed to scrape together 22 wins. That's like having a Lamborghini engine in a golf cart. Impressive, but not exactly winning races. So while the Spurs may not be lighting up the postseason, Wembanyama's absence feels like missing out on the chance to witness a basketball giant in action. Here's hoping he'll grace us with his presence in future playoffs and maybe even bring the Spurs along for the ride. Now on to the high seat at risk of going out early. It's like watching a cat stroll into a room full of rocking chairs. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been strutting their stuff all season, with Anthony Edwards leading the charge like a young Jedi mastering the Force, but fate has a cruel sense of humor, because their first-round matchup is like sending a lamb into the lion's den. Enter the Phoenix Suns, a team with more firepower than a fireworks factory. They've got all-star vets who practically bleed playoff experience. It's like going up against the Avengers with a handful of sidekicks. Facing the Suns is like trying to outshine the sun itself. You might get burned. And you also got to remember Karl Anthony Towns. He's still eyeing that elusive second round like it's the Holy Grail. But again, standing in his way, Kevin Durant. Looking the healthiest he's been in ages. They've been schooling the Timberwolves all season, and with Devin Booker in all-star mode, it's going to be an uphill battle for Minnesota. So while the Timberwolves have been turning heads all season, they've got their work cut out for them. Can they pull off the upset of the century, or will they become just another footnote in the Suns' quest for glory? Grab your popcorn, folks, because this showdown is going to be one for the history books. But let's not forget about the Milwaukee Bucks. With Giannis Antetokounmpo nursing some injuries, they're looking a bit wobbly. Damian Lillard has been pulling some superhero moves, but even he can't save them from a potential sweep by the Indiana Pacers, who've already bested them a few times this season. So yeah, the playoffs are shaping up to be one heck of a ride. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy journey. Who's the long shot to win, you ask? Well, first up, the Dallas Mavericks are eyeing an upset against the Denver Nuggets. It's like watching a game of basketball chess. With Luka Doncic pulling off moves that have opponents scratching their heads, plus him and Kyrie Irving have finally figured out their chemistry, it could be checkmate. And it's like watching a buddy cop movie where they start off hating each other but end up saving the day with some slick teamwork. And let's not forget about the Mavericks' trade deadline moves. It's like they raided the bargain bin and came out with gold. If they keep firing on all cylinders, the Mavericks might just leave the Nuggets in the dust. Then we've got the Philadelphia 76ers facing off against the New York Knicks. It's like watching David take on Goliath. Except David's got a mean jump shot. If the Sixers can get past the Knicks, who, let's face it, are still nursing some payroll trauma, the conference bracket is theirs for the taking. It's like having a golden ticket to the chocolate factory. Except the chocolate is a championship trophy. And speaking of underdogs, the New York Knicks are out here with their 40-1 long shot odds. It's like betting on a turtle in a race against cheetahs. But hey, stranger things have happened. With Jalen Brunson leading the charge and OG Anunoby playing the role of a secret weapon, the Knicks might just surprise everyone and take home their first ring since dinosaurs roamed the earth. Okay, maybe not that long ago, but you get the point. And last but not least, the Los Angeles Clippers are aiming for glory. As a 4 seed, they're like the underdog with a chip on their shoulder, ready to prove the doubters wrong. If they could navigate through the playoff maze and come out on top against the Mavericks, they might just find themselves face to face with destiny in the Western Conference Finals. It's like a Hollywood script waiting to be written, but the Clippers as the unlikely heroes. Now let's look at the most important players in this postseason. First off, we've got to go to the Boston Celtics, eyeing the prize like a kid with their nose pressed against the candy store window. With Jimmy Butler nursing a few bumps and bruises, and Joel Embiid doing his best impression of a walking injury report, the Celtics see their chance to finally break through. But the big question is whether Jason Tatum can shake off this postseason jitters and become the hero Boston needs. It's like waiting for your favorite superhero to finally step up and save the day. Will Tatum answer the call? Will we use another superhero reference? I'll try not to. Speaking of Joel Embiid, it's like deja vu all over again. The poor guy can't catch a break. Or maybe he catches too many breaks, if you know what I mean. If the Sixers stumble again, the trust the process mantra might start sounding more like change the process to some disgruntled fans. But hey, at least they've got their cheesesteaks to drown their sorrows in. And then there's Kyrie Irving, the wild card of the playoffs. We've all wondered if he could just stick to basketball and leave the drama at home. And lo and behold, he finally did it. It's like witnessing a unicorn trotting down the court. Rare and mesmerizing. Now with Irving and Doncic forming a dynamic duo in Dallas, they're ready to take on the Clippers. Exorcise some playoff demons, if you know what I mean. It's like watching a buddy cop movie where they actually get along this time. And let's not forget about Jalen Brunson, the unsung hero of the Knicks. If he catches fire, it's like watching a fireworks show on the court, explosive and dazzling. With Brunson leading the charge, the Knicks might just crash the Eastern Conference Finals party and give the Celtics a run for their money. It is like watching David vs. Goliath Showdown, but with more dribbling and fewer slingshots. As the NBA playoffs unfold, it's clear that we're in for an exhilarating ride. From the Golden State Warriors to the San Antonio Spurs, from underdogs to long shots, each team brings its own flavor to the hardwood drama. So grab your popcorn, click that subscribe button, cheer for your favorites, and enjoy the thrilling spectacle of basketball at its finest. Because in the end, whether it's heartbreak or triumph, this postseason journey is one we'll never forget. Thank you for watching.